President Trump blasting Speaker Nancy Pelosi just moments ago for canceling the State of the Union he was planning to deliver in the House chamber on Tuesday.
The State of the Union speech has been canceled by Nancy Pelosi because she doesn't want to hear the truth. She doesn't want the American public to hear what's going on. And she's afraid of the truth. We were planning on doing a really very important speech in front of the House and the Senate, the Supreme Court. So we just found out that she's canceled it, and I think that's a great blotch on the incredible country that we all love. She blamed security, but she knew it wasn't a security problem. I just got back from Iraq. I was very safe in Iraq, and I felt very safe. We had great security. If we can handle Iraq, we can handle the middle of Washington. We'll do something in the alternative. We'll be talking to you about that at a later date. But what she's doing to the American people, what she's doing to our Constitution is a disgrace.
What was that movie, Greg? You Can't Handle the Truth.
Yes, Jerry Maguire. I'm kidding. I know, I'm joking. Are you asking me a question?
No, I'm just teeing you up.
I'm ecstatic. As you know, I'm ecstatic. This is all coming together. I didn't want to go to D.C. D.C. is like the worst ride in America's amusement park. There's no fun in D.C., just walking tours. Walking tours. It's the most overrated capital in America, and I include Sacramento in that. This is another thing. Thank you, Donald Trump, that he has disrupted and gotten off our plate. Things that last year was a correspondence dinner. We didn't need that. We don't miss it. We're not going to miss the State of the Union. He should do it skywriting. That's he should skywrite his State of the Union, or he should do it in a Twitter thread. That's easy too. But you don't need this stupid pomp and circumstance. Thank you.
What would the skywriting say? Build the wall and crime will fall.
Yes, exactly. And then we're done. But I mean, he's gotten rid of the Correspondents' Dinner, State of the Union. I think he should get rid of stubborn belly fat and embarrassing back fat. Those diarrhea pills that come in the little pods that you can't open. Get rid of that. TMV. Get rid of that. We're done.
What is TMV?
DMV.
DMV.
And TMZ.
Okay, no, don't get rid of TMZ. We love you, Harvey. So this is a big blotch. Because this has never happened before, and he's checked it out, and I don't know if it has. He's saying that he was safe in Iraq when he went during the shutdown. Why can't D.C. be just as safe?
Well, I always thought that Nancy Pelosi had a stronger argument saying we're not doing the State of the Union until the government's back open, but you and I'll work on a date for when the government's back open. We'll invite you down. And she's still kind of saying that. But when her first letter said, please come give a State of the Union on January 29th. The second one said, I think it would not be a good idea because of security concerns. And he's right. Like, that was lame. The security concerns are not real. I think she would have been even stronger at that point to be able to say, no, we're not doing this until the government's reopened. These people deserve to be paid for the work they're doing. So when that's done, you can come back.
And she sent the first letter during the shutdown, Juan. So the president's saying, well, why are you using this as an excuse when you invited me during the shutdown in the beginning?
Well, I don't buy the security thing at all. But, I mean, clearly what's going on here is the government's not functioning. There are real issues at play. I mean, you stop and look at it. It's not only I think it's 800,000 not being paid, the contractors. Today we heard about IRS agents who are not reporting but getting passes so they can go out and get, small jobs to help pay the bills. FBI says child trafficking, terror investigations are being impeded, according to the FBI union. The airports we know about, the Coast Guard we know about. To me, this is a real problem. I mean, it's even the State Department says they were going to have a conference on border security. They can't have that. So this is, Senator Mark Warner said, stop stupidity, stop inflicting shutdown, transferring unnecessary pain and inflicting damage. And you see this in the polls. 71% of Americans say this wall is not worth this shutdown. This is hurting the country. But I think, what's interesting to me, it's hurting President Trump.
Well, if it's not worth it,
then you should be thrilled.
I'm not thrilled. I'm kind of sad our country's in this place.
If all that stuff's happening, though, that you just laid out, why don't Democrats just get on board and support all the stuff that they supported years ago that he's proposing? I mean, they all are on record as having supported not only the border security measures, but now they're having to say no, we don't want humanitarian aid. No, we don't want relief for TPS and DACA recipients just because Trump proposed it. I mean, I agree that having all of these things stagnant is bad, but what he put forward was something that was completely palatable. And, I think Nancy Pelosi, she's a spiteful one sometimes. She is. And she didn't want Trump to come out. I don't love the State of the Union. I agree with Greg. I think it's boring. I think they somehow make presidents, for some reason, to look like monarchs in that moment. It's painful to watch. But it is an opportunity to get out there and have a lot of people tune into something who typically wouldn't tune in. And I don't think she wanted President Trump talking about the aspects of crime and the fact that he put forth something that had the DACA relief, that had the TPS relief, so that voters in the middle could say, wait a minute, he did put something forth that could have been palatable to us. Why isn't she biting?
Well, let me
But
just
the
say
thing is, he gave a primetime address laying out all those things except for the stuff that he offered on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it didn't move the needle at all.
But I think
against her. So I think that
true.
like if she's just being politically smart, I mean, I'm not saying that it's like good policy, but if you've been politically smart, like why would you move?
That's true, but I know a lot of people that tune in. Like, I watch news all the time. We watch news all the time. But I know a lot of people that don't watch news a lot. But when it says
true.
State of the Union, they
tune in.
will tune in.
But they have no
every
choice.
single channel.
They have no choice. It's
Right.
on every channel.
Exactly.
It's
Oh, yeah,
disgusting.
You could read a book if you want, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of people
I
tune
actually
in.
do read books,
But I will
Juan.
say this to you, that when you see this argument about crime in the wall that the president was tweeting about today, it is so fallacious. I mean, the statistics say that crime, in fact, violent crime has been down over the last 20 years, even as we've seen the increase in illegal immigrants.
Why have Democrats been calling it a humanitarian crisis?
It is
Juan,
have you missed
can I-
those
Juan,
people
just
straggling
about
up?
the crime,
It
though,
is.
when they didn't have a wall in El Paso, there was a lot of violent crime. They put the wall up and the crime
yeah,
dropped.
that- yeah.
Let's listen to what Chuck had to say about this whole hostage-taking scenario.
Or not.
The president's proposal is just wrapping paper on the same partisan package in hostage-taking taxes.
Hostage-taking should not work. It's very hard to negotiate when a gun is held to your head.
The American people know that President Trump is responsible for the shutdown, and now they have learned that Leader McConnell is a co-conspirator.
All right, and the president actually called Chuck Schumer a puppet of Pelosi. So it looks like he's trying to drive a wedge between the two leaders.
To use his analogy, though, we have been, Americans have been held hostage by career politicians who make a nice living off this prison of two ideas. They need us to be polarized on immigration. They need you to think that having a wall means you don't like people from Mexico. They need that argument because that keeps them in power. There has to be a way of breaking out of this prison because you can't be pro-refugee, but also think maybe you should limit merit-based immigration. I'm actually more inclined to go with refugees than merit-based because refugees are more grateful. But you can actually have a compromise. Get out of this prison. No, I think that when refugees come here, they make great citizens, but you have to extreme vet. See, the compromise here is having a number of tools in that shed. It's not just this or this. That's the prison. You've got to find all these other tools.
A lot of different clubs in the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what that means, Dana?
I must say,
Okay.
it sounds like you're a Democrat, because that's what the Democrats are saying. We can have.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare talk about
You're right.
Gutfeld
You're
like
right.
that.
So where are the Democrats? You're
Democrats
absolutely
are-
right.
In fact, the Democrats
Why aren't the
have passed
Democrats
bills in
coming
the House,
forward?
Greg. They have come forward. But guess what? McConnell won't bring that forward. Now he's going to have two votes
Well, he won't bring
tomorrow.
it forward because the president won't sign it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
that's
so this
smart.
is like a trap. You know, it's like you can't get
Yes.
out of the trap. And poor President Trump, he's stuck in this trap, waiting for the far-right fringe to give him permission slip to make a
Well,
deal.
I'm glad
Not
you
the
feel
far left,
sorry
just
for the
the far
president,
right.
Juan. That's
He
very
is.
compassionate.
It
of
is.
you. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.